Yes.
It's visible, right?
Yes, it is visible to me.
Yes, yes. Very good. So, Nimesh, we can see cover letter, na?
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
visible.
Okay, okay, fine. So please look into this cover letter and you can ask questions to Raviteja. I'll be giving you some time. So after some time, after for few minutes, you can ask me. Okay.
Sure.
Once you're ready, you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nimesh, are you going to ask me questions or
Yeah,
what's going to
just
happen?
going through the cover letter. Just give me a moment.
Okay, okay.
If you want to look into the other page, please let me know, Nimesh. Okay.
Yeah. Can you elaborate about the project that you have done in General Motors? So, what were your roles and responsibilities in that project as a BA?
Yes. So here I was in the project as in the General Motors. My role is not specific to business analyst because it was a short team and I was taking the shoes of Scrum Master as well sometimes. And I was the guy who was managing the daily Scrum calls and reviews and even the client interactions. So when this project came to us, initially I was still working with a different project, which is RMS systems previously. So when this project came after they received S4W, there was a need of business analyst. So, and there was only one project manager and five technical team. So they needed one person to take care of this thing. So I joined the team. So right from the starting, interacting with the clients and gathering the requirements and converting them to user stories. I was there with the product manager and I was responsible for all the documentations and I was owning the documents. And then every time we sit for the sprint meetings, we sit and the product manager is also kind of, working as a product owner. So there was no particular proper designations for us. So everybody used to take care of whatever the role they are capable of. So whenever the user stories are added in the sprint, so I used to be available in the every day. I used to conduct the daily Scrum meetings and take the feedback from the technical team. And every week we used to have client meetings, and I should join the client meetings and understand the requirements better. And I should review the change requirements that they have, whatever the change request that comes to us. I was the one who used to take care of that, like receive it from them and analyze it and present it to the team so that they will share their feedback about it. And most of the like all the meetings, I was the kind of guy who used to maintain the MOMs, minutes of the meetings. And it's like I'm the go-to guy for every change or anything that is going to happen in the project.
Okay, so you have used Jira as well as a software, right?
Correct.
So what did I mean? How did you use that Jira application for what performing what all functions?
So it was like uh, mostly to take care of the user stories and like to track the requirements, how it going like. So we actually use Jira as well as another Excel sheet as well to track the requirements. In the Jira, like we used it to uh, put the user stories and epics which are there and maintain the product backlog, release it for the sprints. And once the code is completed, like once the package is completed, and then we release it to the client. So for this purpose, we use Jira.
Okay, so basically Jira is a project management tool
Correct.
which is used for creating of a user story, identifying what is the epic from that user story, then bifurcating that user story into that particular epic, means whether it's a register, if it is a registration, so what all user stories will be under that epic. Apart from that, you have also mentioned that burn down and burn up charts, right? So
Yeah.
that is also generated in Jira itself.
Yes.
So apart from that, there is something called acceptance criteria, business value. So all these things are basically done in Jira itself.
Yes.
Okay. So you have mentioned validation and prioritization technique of Moscow and Forbes. So which is the validation technique and which is the prioritization technique over here?
So
Can
here,
you explain it?
yeah, sure. Moscow is the prioritization technique and the Forbes is the validation technique we used. So
Okay.
Moscow here, like Moscow stands for must have, should have, could have, and would have or won't have. So based on this, the requirements have been like prioritized. So must have and should have are given the highest priority, so that the development team will take it in a high priority and complete those things. And validation is for FERPs, like which is full form of functionality, usability, reliability, performance, and supportability. So once the user stories or whatever the work they have completed, we validate those requirements. Or even before sending it to the uh, development, we do the validation of requirements to check whether these requirements are clearly valid, whether are any changes need to be made in these requirements, like that.
Okay, and what is the difference between a product burn down chart and a burn up chart?
So burn down chart defines how much work is pending for the project, like how much work is completed and how much work is pending.
Okay,
Yeah, burn up chart is how much work is already completed and how much is pending.
so as a business analyst, what is important, burn down or a burn up?
Burn down chart, if in my opinion, you need to check.
Correct. Can you explain it? How?
So in burn down charts, like we can see, of course, for every project or for every sprint, we keep the deadlines. Right, for this, by this time, this much of work has to be completed. So in between, whenever we look at the burn down charts, we can clearly see whether this is going to be completed on the given time, or is it going to overlap, or is going to be any issues are going to be. So we, based on the burn down chart, we judge or estimate whether the project is going to complete at the given time or not.
Okay. Okay. And the second thing that you have completed is recruitment management system, right? Through
Yes,
using waterfall methodology.
correct.
So what exactly is that project?
So to give the background of this project, where when I joined this company, I joined as a HR recruiter. So within the first month itself, I got an opportunity where there was a new project that they're going to start RMS systems, because the whichever recruitment management system which we were using in the company was kind of outdated, and it was so manual work, everything was there. So the VP of our company has come up with an idea like, why can't we have our own RMS system, like an application. So that's where they formed a small team, where one project manager and again like a bunch of technical team who were needed for this project. So they just started it, and that time the project manager needed a junior business analyst to help him with all the like mundane daily works to help him with. So I showed my interest that time. So they kind of took me from as a from HR recruiter to the project, because this RMS system is like uh, is a HR base for it. So I have worked in as a HR recruiter, so I know what are the pain points of this little system which is there. So I joined there, and initially itself we have finalized it is going to be waterfall project, because we know exactly what we really wanted, and we sat down and we did the enterprise analysis, like identifying what are the stakeholders, how we can implement it, what are the changes that need to be implemented in the project. And then we decided on, we initially we did the stakeholder analysis, and we found out what are all stakeholders that are going to be involved in this particular project. And then the waterfall project started, like requirement gathering. We did the illustration techniques. Like first of all, we did the document analysis of doing all the, like, checking out all the other RMS systems that are there, RMS applications that are there in the internet, and see how we can make a better application out of it. And then we did the giant application development, where we sat down with all the teams, like recruitment team, who and also the few interviewers, and even the technical panel who came and gave their inputs, how we can make a better application. And once we had all the requirements finalized, we made BRD, and then I sat with the technical team along with my product manager to create the solution requirements. That is functional requirements and non-functional requirements. And we made that, and then the design part has completed. I mean, in the design part, I have learned these technologies like Balsamiq, Axure, and even MS Visio. So where I was involved to make the activity diagrams, use case diagrams, so these things. And then the tech development team started their work in the development phase, and so that's how it went. So I was there from the starting, and I got the opportunity to learn about business analytics in this project.
Okay, so a recruitment management system, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, is just like I mean, whenever we visit a company website, there is a career option wherein we can apply for the job, and that in that system, the candidates who all are applying, their databases are stored, and based on their qualification and skill levels, we can approach them for a job. So it's something of that sort, or
Correct. That's one of the feature that we have. Like apart from that, the general issues that a recruitment team faces is like, once the candidate applies for the job, there is no proper uh, feedback system, and there is no proper way that recruiter can analyze it. Sometimes there will be, like, thousands of the CVs will come for one particular recruitment requirement.
correct?
So that way, so we have implemented a kind of ATS. Of course, in this RMS itself, we implemented something like the AI system that will rate the CVs profiles based on the job description. So, and it gives some rating so that we can find eliminate a lot of the profiles which are not relevant. That's one feature that we have added. And also the interview panel, the person who is going to take the interview, generally what used to happen, the recruitment team has to call and confirm their availability, and then contact the candidate, and then schedule the interview. Here in this application, we don't have to do that. The recruiter will interviewer, the panel, technical panel, whoever is there, they will give their availability beforehand itself in the system, so that based on the system, when the recruiter will just see that time and then confirm it with the candidate and schedule the interview. So everything the system will take care.
Okay, just like in LinkedIn, I mean, there is particular skill levels. For example, there are 10 skill levels mentioned, and if the candidate has fulfilled all the 10 skill levels, so in that case only his profile goes further, then it will go to technical round, then all the other process, right? So
Yes.
according to AI, if that candidate skill is 10 out of 10, matching 10 out of 10, then only it will be going to the next stage, right? In RMS.
Yeah, but there is a chance, to enhance, like to make some small changes. Like in the JD, whatever everything that is mentioned in the JD is not exactly required for the job. Sometimes there are
Yeah, good to
primary
have.
skills.
Sometimes there
Yeah,
is good to have,
yeah,
which can be
must have.
avoided. Yeah.
Correct. So based on the keywords that the candidate mentions in their CV, the system gives some rating. So based on that, it will come to the next level. So and then the recruiter will be there. Obviously, he will anyways check the CV and he'll call the candidate and do the further process.
Okay. Okay. Can I go to the next page of the this thing
Yeah,
of
sure.
the cover letter?
You can see the next
Yeah,
page.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time of the project, starting of the project, how will you decide whether that particular project should be carried out in waterfall method or agile method? And what is the difference between waterfall and agile?
Yeah. So based on my experience working for both the projects, so initially, if the project is clearly defined, like how much features or what we are gonna do, and if it is a short project, and if the goals are clearly defined, we go with the waterfall project because there will be much change requests or changes will be happening in that project. So that's where we go with the waterfall project. But in agile, with the customer or the client will be keep on looking for, like he wants a workable working project in a very short period of time, and then we can enhance it. And there will be so many change requests that can happen in the coming time because of the various reasons, like market and competition and all. So that time when we are not clearly sure about how the project is going to, there is a chance that the project can deviate from requirements, changing requirements, frequent changes. That is where we go with agile. So it's
Okay,
a
for
basic.
just for example, I mean the recruitment management system that you have developed through waterfall model,
Yes.
right? So there also it could have been done through agile by giving small executable software to the stakeholders.
Yes.
So yeah.
But the reason we went for waterfall at that particular time was like see, in agile there will be every single day there will, like lot of kind of little micromanagement, if you ask me. Like that's my personal opinion. So here in waterfall method we kind of gave them like weekly reviews only, like weekly or bi-weekly. Of course here also we used to have reviews and we sit together and understand how the project is going on, but we were not focused more much on giving the final product in the starting itself. Like we took around 4 to 5 months to give an executable product with the maximum features in it, so that to implement at a time. So because we were using the third party application that time, so we needed some basic, at least some features to be included before implementing it in a full scale. So that was the reason.
Okay. Okay, and in the first project of General Motors, you said that you have worked as a business analyst as well as a Scrum Master, right? So, what is the I mean, difference between both the roles? I mean, what are the responsibilities performed
Okay.
by a business analyst, and what are the responsibilities performed by a Scrum Master
Scrum Master.
that you have
So
done?
yeah, so I'll explain both in a simple terms, like where Business analyst is a person who kind of uh, has the client interaction, who owns the requirements of all the documentations. He does the analysis part. He will be there right from the starting and ending. He is the kind of liaison between the client and the technical team, whatever the issues and whatever the communication that happens. And he is main responsible to convert the business needs or business language to the technical language, and also vice versa. Like, whatever the technical team having any issues or whatever their language, we convert it in the business language and explain it to the client. This is the basic stuff. Whereas come to the Scrum Master, his role is mostly works in the terms of, like, getting the job done, like mostly to the technical team, like where he makes sure all the sprints or the Scrum framework is implemented properly. If the technical team are having any issues, any related issues, he is the one who should be upfront in the line and then taking care of that. And he is responsible for managing all the meetings that happen, sprint review, retrospective meetings, or daily Scrum calls. He is the one who makes sure the project is on the timeline and finishes on time. So those are basic differences.
Okay. So basically, Scrum Master is a mentoring kind of a role,
Yes.
wherein business analyst is basically, as you said, I mean, all the requirement, ownership of requirement, client interaction, and process reengineering is the prime responsibility of a business analyst.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, Ravi, that's it from my end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nimesh.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me just ask a few questions from my end. Okay. So can you please tell me what is the difference between a requirement and a need?
Okay. So need is a high level business language kind of stuff, where the clients will come up with a need to us, and it is a responsibility of the business analyst to convert those needs into requirements and probable solvable requirements, and then give it a meaning so that the technical team or the team can understand it and they can work on a solution. So that's a basic the difference between a need and the requirement.
So, so like so you have idea about scope creep, right?
Sorry, I can't. Uh,
So
your
can
voice
you
is
hear me now clearly? So you do have idea about scope creep, right? So what things you
do
might
scope
do?
creep. Okay.
Yes.
You
So
okay.
so what things you gonna do so in order to avoid that scope creep in a
Sorry, if I
project?
heard your question right, like you asking about a scope creep and what we can do to avoid it.
Yes, in your project. Like,
Okay. So right from the starting itself, we keep that in mind that there are ways that there is a chances that any project can become a scope creep. So we have to take the actions to avoid those things. A few examples are like planning right from the starting itself, and if you are failing, fail faster, so that in case of any issues, right, find out those issues at the starting stage itself, so that it won't lead to the later stages and become a burden to us. So that's one thing. And then do the analysis part properly, like right from the starting. If you do the feasibility study and uh, all the SWOT analysis, if you are come up with the data in the starting itself with all the questions answered as a business analyst, there are very less chances that the project will go in as a scope creep.
so just a second. So suppose as a PA, you might be working on a different projects, right? Let us assume this scenario. So how would you handle this conflicts? How did you handle the conflict in priorities when you work on multiple projects as a PA?
Yes, for conflict management, I have learned some technical skill and conflict management technique, where you try to understand. See, conflicts mostly arise with the people in the company, in the teammates. So where we don't have the same ideology, or where we have conflicting ideas or like processes that we work on. So we just had to find out what kind of a, where, like there's a graph, like, where a person could be assertive and cooperative on the basis of assertiveness and cooperative basis. There is a graph where we put there are five categories. If the person is so much assertive and less cooperative, he should be challenged. And then if he is less assertive and less challenging, he should be kind of better ignored, and he will be uh, and then if he is more on assertiveness and more on cooperativeness, he should be bring back to the compromise where. So in this way, once you understand the person, try to understand what's the why this conflict is arising. So based on that, you can treat the person on his way. So this is how generally we treat the conflicts.
Suppose there are three projects which you are parallelly working as a team. Okay.
Mhm.
So how would you manage these projects? Like, which project needs to be developed first without arising conflicts? How would you manage?
In my opinion, all three projects can work simultaneously together, because as a business analyst, we have to sit and then understand. Of course, we have to start with one project only initially. Then we can add in multiple projects. So initially, when we start with one project, if in my opinion, if I have three projects at a time in my table, so I will try to prioritize it based on the need of the client, urgent need. And I will, of course, at this experience level, I will definitely sit with the project manager and who are my mentor, whoever is there, sit with them and try to understand what is the need of the hour, and then make appropriate steps. Because at this moment, I don't think, for my experience level I'm talking about, I don't think I'm in a situation where I can take a decisions of which one I can start and which one I can put on hold.
So, Nimesh, are you there? Hello,
Yeah, you're audible.
Nimesh?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Nimesh,
I
can
can
you?
hear his voice, but it is very low.
Oh, I don't hear his voice at all. That's the reason.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, now you're audible, Nimesh. So the same question to you, if the same question was asked to you, what would you answer?
Ivan, can you repeat the question? I just
Suppose as a BA, you might be like, there is a chance of working on three projects,
correct.
project A, project B, and project C. So how would you handle this without arising conflicts? How would you prioritize them? Which needs to be developed first and all without getting any conflicts?
So basically, the first thing that I would do is what business value that project is having towards. I mean, first of all, I'll prioritize the project as to which one is like a Moscow technique or something like that. I will use that technique, prioritize it, like what is the business value that a project is going to have or on that particular company and everything. First of all, prioritize the requirement. Then conflict management is something, I mean, wherein I have to manage and maintain the relationship with all the stakeholders. So what I'll do is basically, gather all the stakeholders who are having conflict under one roof, identify what is the conflict, what is the root cause of the conflict, then identify all the potential solution for that conflict, and then after having a thorough discussion, come to proper conclusion or solution to that conflict. So that is how I'll be managing that conflict.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay,
Yeah.
Ravitesh and Harsh. So, Saranya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Yes. Have you sent your cover letter, cover letter to the HR yesterday, Saranya?
Yes, yesterday I didn't send. Earlier I sent already. I got, they asked the questions also.
Okay, okay, fine. So, from this cover letter, so this is the cover letter of Ravitesh. So, do you want to ask any questions to me from this cover letter? Then go ahead.
Because of one work I joined now only, I'll see the cover letter, then I'll ask.
Okay, okay, fine. So because Nimesh has done from his side. So since you have joined, I will ask him. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Suddenly let me know once you are done, okay, so that we can start.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I'm
Can
asking
you?
once, yeah, once you are done, let me know so that you can ask questions to them.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am. Okay.
Suddenly, are you saying something?
I am asking, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, okay, fine. Ravitesh, are you there?
Yes,
No.
I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
Ravi, this is.
Yes.
Yes, Ravi. How can you do this enterprise analysis while you are doing this project?
Okay, so the enterprise analysis that we have done for we have done enterprise analysis for RMS actually, recruitment management system application. So here there we have started with that and understand the reason why we are starting, like whether the company have enough resources or the enough budget to go up with this, or is there any other alternate options that we can look for. So we initially started with I will give you the little background about this RMS application. So we had a third party application where we use it for the recruitment related activities in the company. So it was kind of outdated and a lot of manual work used to be there. So for that reason, my VP in my company, they came I like higher management, they came up with a solution like, why can't we develop our own application so that we will have everything that we really looking for. So for that, they gave us a task of doing the enterprise analysis first. So to understand whether it is feasible or not to go ahead with the application. So initially the initial step that we did was like the problems that we are having that in that project, in that application that we were working on, and then to see if there are any other third party other companies that are providing a better application, that so that we can avoid the entire developing the application part, and we can use that application from the outside. So we did that, and then we did the in organization analysis, where do we have enough resources and the time budget, and what is the time frame of this project if it is started to complete. So all this analysis we did, and we presented it in front of the higher management, and then they have taken the decisions to whether to go ahead or not.
Okay. How can you face the conflicts if anything happens while doing project?
So, okay, so if the conflict is arising, I will try to find the root cause of the conflict by listening to the people, whoever is having issues. So if there is a conflict arising from any particular person, I'll try to arrange a meeting with them and then sit with them and then listen to what they have to say, and then and completely understand their perspective, and then come up with a solution, like how we can what is the real cause for this conflict. So once you understand the real cause of the conflict, then like mostly 50 to 60% of the problem is solved, and then you can take the measures that, okay, how we can come to a common ground and implement uh, like common ideas and go ahead. So that's how I would do. Like, the first and foremost thing I would do is for a conflict resolution is to sit and understand the people's perspective and try to find the reason with them, so that it will be easier to give any points that from our end to, because we have understand the person's perspective in a clear way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Okay, guys. Good. So, Ravitesh, how did you feel? regarding this section?
This is a new to me. Actually, completely not. This is not what I expected. I thought like some person will be sitting there and asking me questions. But this is really great. So I want to ask you one question. Like, so can I also join in these things in the coming time, or how is it gonna be? Like,
Yes, yes, you can join. Okay.
okay,
You
so
please communicate with the HR. So actually, these guys have done their cover letters previously also. Okay. So
okay,
it's like, interaction between the participants itself. So they're gonna, through this, they will share the real time, how the real time experience will be as a BA going forward.
true. Because when I was giving my answers, actually, to be frank, I learned a lot from Nimesh, more than it is kind
Yes.
of learning from him than my previous experiences or whatever the experience I had. So this way, whenever in the future meeting calls or like this, I can join and I can see the people's words, people's perspective from their end. So that is gonna be helpful a lot to me. So this is kind of wild card. I mean, did not expect this from COEPD. This is really great in
Yeah,
my
thank you
perspective.
so
Yeah, thank
much.
you so much.
Yeah, I would just like to add up one thing. I mean, Ravi Teja, you have very good grip on your business analyst concepts and everything. So you know how to answer it practically through examples and everything. So you have really done a very good job. And whatever was the expected answer, you have also given that. So I mean, really appreciate your answers and your knowledge.
Thank you, Nimesh. And can I ask like a couple of things, Nimesh, that you expect me to improve and to work on? So that really helps me.
I mean, everything is perfectly fine from my end. I mean, whatever was my expectation, you have also already answered all my the queries that I have asked. You have answered to the potential that I have. So,
That's great.
yeah, my end there is no feedback as such.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nimesh.
Yeah,
Really, you
thank you so
answered
much.
good,
Yeah,
Ravi.
sorry, continue.
Really, you answered good, I am telling you. This Ravi answered good, I am telling you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, fine. So we'll meet again on the next Sunday. Okay. So we'll wait for your other participants' cover letters also, and be prepared on your concepts also. Okay. We'll try to involve a lot of more people regarding this mock panel letter so that it can really help you in your real time be experience and interviews.